Hello everyone, Dan Hurd with Dan Hurd Prospecting here. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, welcome. I hope to earn your subscription today. I am back with the Gold Hog Multi Sluice to do my second inaugural test. My first test. Well, today I have a bucket full of very, very rich high banking cons that I'm going to clean up the gold from. And today's test, I'm going to run it through the first more aggressive mat to bring it down to about a cup of material. Then I'm going to run it through the mat that's supposed to clean it up to about a tablespoon of material. And that is really how this machine is meant to work. Run it through 2 times, maybe 3, to get all the stuff as clean as you can get it before you pan it out. That's the plan. Hope you enjoy. So yesterday I did run my first run ever on the Multi Sluice, and it did a fantastic job. The machine caught about 95% of the gold in the first run. I'd say about 5% in the second run, and I don't think there's enough in those cons to worry about anymore. Now, unfortunately, this morning here, the weather, it got chilly last night, and everything froze up. My bucket full of cons is a solid block of ice. Everything's frozen. The little bungee cord that holds down this top thing was in my tailings from yesterday, unfortunately. Frozen right in. It took me an hour to thaw it to get it out. But I think I'm all ready to go. My bucket of high banking cons is still in the sun melting. Hopefully it's good. And I'm gonna bring it over here. We're gonna get started. I will explain it all to you 1 second. So we left the bucket out last night. It froze solid. To thaw it out this morning, I put rocks, big rocks in the fire, keyed them red hot, and dropped them into the bucket. Like, oh, shit. Excuse my language. They're a little hot still. Woo. Yikes. So I put hot rocks in to thaw it out, and it looks like it's still frozen around the edges. Darn it. Got another hot rock I'm going to throw in there to start to melt this a bit more. Make sure it doesn't hit the plastic edge. Okay, once this is melted, I will classify it down to 1/4 inch. That's what Doc from Gold Hog says that this first mat needs, is 1/4 inch minus material. So I will classify it down. I have a small amount of cons today. Not so much, but it's much richer than yesterday's. So I should have just as much gold in here as I did yesterday, but with a lot less material. It'll make it a lot easier to run. And of course, I'll be using the Arbor Fabricating 1/4 inch classifier. If you want to get your own, they're the best classifiers around. Link below with the discount code. Now, while we wait, let's look at the 2 mats. We have the aggressive mat that cleans up the gold in its first step, and it worked really well for me yesterday. Then we have the more, the lower profile and less aggressive mat that actually takes the gold down to, I want to say pure gold, but it's not. It's cleaner gold. In fact, in the top few rifles, he says it should be almost pure in the few. As you get down the mat, it'll be more and more black sand, but it takes it down a lot farther. This one here can blast through some of your gold. They both can a little bit, so it's a good idea to rerun a couple times. Luckily, this machine is so fast, it doesn't take you much extra time to rerun. And as I said, yesterday I got about 95% of my gold in the first run. Okay, I've started up the water. I'm just gonna go through it once with a brush to make sure there's no air pockets behind any of the rifles. Air pockets would stop the gold sitting down where it's supposed to sit. I've classified all of my material down to 1/4 inch. It's all good to go. Nothing to do but start feeding. My gut feeling is yesterday I was feeding a bit quick, so I'm gonna go a bit slower today. Easier when I have less material too. this is where I speed up the video so it looks like I'm feeding really fast. Love to try out one of Doc's bigger high bankers too. They look like they're really well constructed, great matting, well thought out. I always use my home built one, but you know, using a professional built one would be kind of nice. And there we be. Let's shut it out and see what it looks like inside. Okay, now one trick Doc does say is to tip it on its side for a second, let all the water slowly drain down one side. So that you're not fighting an excess of water when you're trying to take the mats out. Let's pop off the little bungee cord that holds the header box in place. See what I see? I see lots of gold, lots of gold. More gold, more gold, more gold. I do see gold. I see what looks to be a very nice piece of gold. Let's get the camera in on this. So I'm hoping I can make this camera work for some close-ups here, because my good close-up camera got too much Fraser dust in it the other day. It's not working anymore. But there's some really nice pieces of gold down in there. Really nice. And then a line of gold. Gold everywhere down in these rifles. More there. Ooh, let's see if shade helps. It is everywhere. Riffles are just loaded with it. Nice. Well, let's clean it up and see how much that comes out to. Okay, to take the mat out, you peel up one side first until it loses the pressure of it holding in from side to side. Once the one side's up, you can pull it down and out. If you know this machine, there's often a bolt here that holds the mats in place. I just decided I didn't need it. The mat went in easily enough and held in place easily enough without it. Once you're down below these little bolts, you can pop up the one side completely. As long as you don't have water in the riffles, the gold will stay in place. And we can take it over and wash it out in the pan. Ooh. I have my pan sitting on a big flat pan here just in case I screw up. It will catch anything that falls out. The trick here is to keep the mat completely over top of the pan, so if anything falls out, it falls into the pan, and then rotate it through, rock it through backwards, opening up each of the grooves to let the gold fall out. Do that 2 or 3 times, back and forth, always staying over top of your pan. And then if you're really concerned, or if you want to do an even better job, you roll it backwards on itself. This really opens up any grooves, letting anything else fall out. There we go. Here's the cons left behind after the mats are taken out. And there's just gold everywhere through this. Those guys did well on that day. Whoo, whoo, whoo. That is rich. Rich, rich, rich material. So now we can put the aggressive mat aside. Shake off all the sand I have on the cleanup mat. I think he calls this the scrubber mat. But the mat that's designed to clean up the gold better. Get that in place here. Make sure there's a bit of a radius up at the top. Make sure it's all pushed down Nice and tight so no gold gets down beside it. There we go. Put the header box back in place. Just like that. Now the idea of this second run is to take this material here, the tailings, anything that's left over, and catch that, 5% that made it through. The instructions for doing this is to classify it down to 16 to 20 mesh, and then run it through this mat here at a higher angle. The first one was 11 degrees, the next one's about 13 degrees. And it should catch the remainder of your gold. I may not have thought this through completely. I have no water in my bucket. There we go. And I will also pan through this stuff because one problem with big flat flakes, they like to flitter through machines like this. So if there was any big flat flakes on here, they might be up in this stuff. So fire up the machine again and scrub those mats down one more time to make sure there's no air pockets, because these are brand new mats to me. I can see lots of air pockets in this one because brand new mats tend to hold air a lot easier than old mats do. Okay, use my protractor here to check that I get 13 degrees. We are at, let's see. There we go, look at that, what a guess. 13.2-ish. That'll be plenty accurate enough. And the step you don't want to forget when you're going down to, when you've gone to a higher angle and this lower profile mat, you have to restrict the water flow. And they have a special adapter here that slides in there, which restricts the water flow so that you don't blast out these lower profile mats. Let's get going. And on this one, we feed a bit slower. Feeding slower because there's less room in the mats to catch the gold, so we have to give the machine time to clear the black sand and give room for the gold to be caught again. And remember, these are the tailings from my first run. So there's not much gold because I've actually removed most of the gold from here already. Off the header, see what she looks like. I see the odd flake, but not very much. Not very much at all. Now I will take these tailings and effectively throw them away. I'll put them aside for other purposes because they've been run twice now. There should be so little gold in there that it doesn't matter. I'm going to take the cons out of the mats right now, which have the odd flake in them, and I'm going to add them to the cons from the first run. I'm then going to set up the machine for one last stripping run with an empty tailings bin so I can run it multiple times and run all of that through, classified down to 16, run it through one more time and strip it off to as clean of gold as I can get. That's the theory. So I classified it down, I classified my good cons down to 16 mesh, and anything plus 16 is in this pan right now. And there's a few hundred, okay, maybe they're 20 or 30, plus 16 flakes of gold. They look nice. In here is all the minus 1/16, and I'm going to run it through the machine right now. My tailings bin is empty so that it can catch all this and I can rerun it a few times. Running it really slowly so that it has time to catch all the gold. That's it. Let's see what this looks like. Woo-hoo-hoo! Wow. Gold, gold, gold. Look at that shot. Look at that one riffle there. Whoa. And they just keep getting better and better and better. So here's the 1/16 plus material. What is that, about 40, 50 flakes of 1/16 plus? There's some in there that could be lead or could be platinum. I have to test those first before I make that call. They're a little too dark to be lead in my opinion, so I think I may have some platinum pieces in there. Fraser is known for having a little bit of platinum on it. That would be nice. What a beautiful looking pan. The black sands down here are still all loaded with gold. I just did a very quick swirl back to have a good look. Look at that. Now there's some gold. And here it is, 15 grams of Fraser River placer gold. Well everyone, in conclusion, I love this piece of equipment. It's every bit as good as a gold cube in capturing the gold and a whole lot easier to use. So if you have a lot of high banking cons or dredging cons or just volume in any way you need cleaned up, this is a great tool for doing it. The Gold Hog Multi Sluice, well worth its value. Isn't that gold gorgeous? There's probably 8 grams of gold in there, 1/4 ounce of gold. Unfortunately, it's not all mine. I have to share it with Mike and Pete. They had a lot of fun collecting it. I had a lot of fun cleaning it. And it is beautiful gold. Look at this stuff. Shiny. I sure hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave that thumbs up. Please leave me a comment. Big thanks to my patrons out there for your support. And please consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. Until the next one, everyone.